It was, you know, when I got back home, I've got to see the video a few times, see the fight, and you know, you watch everything. I watch everything when I'm watching my fights, and I saw so much going on, you know, so much commotion going on outside the boxing ring, and you know, there was a guy with a black hat. I mean, he was firstly moved by Michael Walsh and the commission away from the top table, which was where the judges were sat and the commission was sat. And then he moved back forward again. Then he was sat with one of the other officials, and he's passing around papers. And I mean, we won't know what these papers were. And then there was so much going on, you know. I mean, all throughout the fight, his head was down. Now and then he looks up at the fight, looks at the referee and watches what's going on. But then he's back passing papers around and stuff. And there was a yellow paper, I see him pass around. There was a white paper, I see him passing around. I mean, I want to know what was going on, who this person was, and why he was doing that. And it's funny because straight after the fight, then he went over to Lamont Peterson's corner and he's celebrating with them. So it just puts questions in my mind, you know, who this person was. I want to know. I've sent a complaint. I mean, I've sent WBA and IBF a letter who this person was, and I want them to, you know, I want to know who this person was. So let's just see. Within the 24 hours, they said they'll let me know, and I'm just waiting for the time.
Because at first he claimed he should have been there and he was part of the boxing officials.
That's right. Yeah, at first he said he was part of the commission, and then he was moved, and then he come back again, and I don't know what he said then, and he was sat there with the commission, and then he was going through all the paperwork and everything. To be moved the first time, I thought, you know, and that's without having any accreditation. You know, he had no accreditation. He shouldn't be allowed in that inner circle section. I mean, it was all new to us. You know, we've never fought in Washington D.C. before, and you know, I mean, my business was left in the ring. I had to do sort my work out in the ring. I mean, outside the ring, you had Oscar De La Hoya, who also complained, and also Asif Ali and my dad also complained, but nothing happened. He was just sat there still, and nobody moved him. He was just sat there all throughout the fight, and like I said, he was working around, giving papers around and stuff. So, you know, that's the question, you know, I ask the WBA and the IBF, who was this person, why was he sat there? Because the WBA commission he had a designated seat, also the IBF had a designated seat somewhere else, so they were there. Who was this third person? And also, you know, there's no one else outside, you know, the commission or outside the judges is allowed to touch the judge cards. You know, were they judge cards? Were they just normal, ordinary papers? What were they? You know, that's what we want to know.
So, in your opinion, the rules are that the commissioners, the judges, nobody should speak to them, interact with them, or anything like that.
That's right.
It appears that this has been going on with this mysterious man.
That's what the rules are in boxing. You know, no one else is allowed to, you know, touch the judges' scorecards or anything, or talk to them. You know, they need to be left alone, watch the fight. I mean, half the time their heads were down, they weren't even watching the fight. So, you know, that's what we want to know. We want answers why this was happening. Why were they talking? Why was, let's see what the WBA come back with, and the IBF come back with, and I'm sure they'll treat me fair. And, you know, all I want is a rematch with this guy, Lamont Peterson, just to prove to my fans that I really did win the fight, and also have it somewhere neutral, where we'll have a neutral commission, we'll have a neutral judge, we'll have judges, and we'll have a neutral referee. That's all I want, you know, in a neutral area. So, you know, let's just see what happens from this. I hope something good comes out of this. And I mean, the reason I tweeted it was because, you know, nothing was happening. I mean, when I sent the complaint through, nothing happened. I mean, it was just quiet. I waited 2 days, nothing happened. Then I tweeted it, and within 24 hours, the WBA and the IBF said, we'll get back to you. So it just shows that it was a good thing of me tweeting it. So.
And to take nothing away from the performance of Lamont Peterson, Barry Hunter came over straight after the fight and said, we'll offer you a rematch. But since then, that seems to have cooled a bit. What is the situation? Yeah,
you know, they said they will agree to a rematch against me, and then all of a sudden it's all gone cold. They said emotions were high, and that's the reason we said it. I mean, the world, I think he knows himself, and the world knows that Amir Khan won the fight. That's the reason he doesn't want to take the fight. I mean, he's taken the titles, and you know, I know they are my titles. That's the reason I want that rematch and bring the titles back to UK again, back to England. So, you know, I just want a fair chance. I want to have a rematch with him again. I want to prove to my fans out there that I did really win the fight. And, you know, I'm my own critic. I criticise myself. I watch the tape over and over again. I know where I've made mistakes, what I should have done, what I shouldn't have done. And if I fight him again, I will not let it go the full distance. I will definitely knock him out.
Because there are those who might say that, you know, you're clutching at straws here. Why not just admit that you lost the fight or whatever, move on, other opportunities will happen?
Yeah, there's other opportunity out there, but you know what? I know I didn't lose the fight. I won the fight. And everyone knows I won the fight. And that's the reason I want this rematch, and that's the reason I'm putting this complaint in. I mean, just give me the rematch and I'll prove to the people out there and the people who are criticising me that, you know, I should be quiet. I will shut them up by beating Lamont Peterson or knocking him out. But all I want is a fair chance, you know. I just think I was treated unfairly, and this is a super fight, you know. This was a fight that was going to take me to bigger and better things. Now it's just put me back a little bit. So that's the reason I want this fight, just to put me back to where I want to be.